What is going on, everyone out there in Talking VAWLS Nation? Dobber here to continue with the 2020 position group preview. Today I'm going to dissect the unit of big guys up front for the Vols on the defensive line. But before I get into that, do yourself a favor if you missed the video Vols JP did on the offensive line last week, or even Boogie Bentley kicking us off with the position group breakdowns on special teams. Go back and catch up on those. Make sure you smash that like button and click on the bell so you get all the notifications when we put up new content as we continue to gear up for this 2020 football season and we go through and break down the remaining position groups right up until the week of kickoff, September 26th versus the South Carolina Gamecocks in Columbia. Why am I excited about this defensive line for 2020? Listen to this. The Vols return every single player that played a snap at the three defensive line positions. The lone defensive lineman not returning is Emmett Gooden, who was dismissed from the team earlier in the offseason after an off-the-field incident. However, Gooden never saw the field last year after sustaining an injury in fall camp and being out the rest of the season. So there's no drop-off in production. You can only hope that it increases. And with the experience gained by subbing guys in and out, getting guys playing time, I think year 3 for Coach Jeremy Pruitt, you are only going to see marked improvement, increased production, and the guys on the front line getting after it, stuffing the run, hurrying, sacking quarterbacks, and it's going to be an asset for this team. Chock full of seniors and upperclassmen. You got guys returning: Matthew Butler, Daryl Middleton, Aubrey Solomon, Greg Emerson, Bumpus, Blakely, Garland. One that I'm super excited for, Elijah Simmons. We caught him, I think, 3 games or so so he can maintain his red shirt from last year. Big impact when he was in there. You're talking about a monster of a kid that's out there, 6'2", 340. Excited to see him take the field and see if his ratings and his stars coming in match the production and the talent. Hope that we see some big things from that kid. The other thing that this does, having so much depth, hopefully you got guys coming in like Amari Thomas, the 4-star recruit from in-state Memphis area, Briarcrest Christian. Hopefully that gives him and Dominic Bailey, Tyler Barron, a couple of these other young guys, true freshmen, it gives them a chance to bulk up, get in, learn the system, adjust to college life during the COVID era and all that entails. But gives them a chance to redshirt and learn the system. They say the game speeds up from high school to college, so you kind of have to have that buffer period where you're catching back up. It's hard to pinpoint starters when you don't have that one guy that sets itself apart. If I had to go out on a limb, I think you're going to see probably Greg Emerson or Garland at the nose. But I mean, you'll see both of them. And I think starter is a misnomer, especially on the defensive line. You want to have a good rotation. You want to be able to sub and not have a drop-off in the talent level, in the effort level. You want to have guys fresh, especially in the fourth quarter of games that are tight. You want to be able to sub situationally, and depending on the package that's in there. You may have guys that, like Simmons we saw at the Kentucky game. They threw him out there on that goal line down in there tight. Threw him in there. He's a space eater, man. Stop the run, stuff that hole. You got guys that you're going to play situationally. And I think that the big thing right here is you look at what Pruitt and company have brought in. They look like SEC level players compared to what was inherited. No more of these kind of small, quick guys. You've got guys with size, but they're still athletic. Omari Thomas, 6'5", 301. I can't wait to see that kid hit the field, but we may have to wait, and I'm fine with that. Like I said, that gives him a chance to get his legs under him to get used to college. I think that this defensive line unit is really going to come into their own, and they will set the tone. They can set the tone for this defense. You do have some guys that hopefully are going to step out and shine on the defensive side of the ball, in the linebacking area, in the secondary. But on the defensive line, I think it's going to be by committee, and that's perfectly fine with me. I think Matthew Butler he was the leading tackler, stats wise, had the most tackles for losses, but it wasn't a whole heck of a lot. So I really think that there is only room for improvement for this entire unit. My biggest concern with this unit, I think it's just that there is no standout star. There's no guy that can take over a game. There's no guy that an opposing offensive coordinator has to necessarily scheme for. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. The biggest strength, I've touched on it already, it's the depth. It is the fact that we now match up with other teams, and you can go 2, 3, in some cases four deep. Flipping guys from side to side, and I think that just shows the job that Pruitt, Ansley, and former D-line coach Tracy Rocker did with the overhaul of the defensive line. One thing to look at, one thing to key on is what will new defensive line coordinator Jimmy Brumbaugh, what will he bring to the table? We've seen recruiting-wise, he's sort of held his own. We had a couple guys when Rocker's departure was announced, kind of back off their commitment, reopen, and he came in and he set the tone and kind of, I think he got one or two back. I'm seeing and reading pretty good things. Excited though. I mean, he's been around, played at Auburn. He's been at Kentucky, a couple of pretty high-profile gigs. He's a young guy. He's got fire. I like everything Pruitt has said about him. And I like that attitude and swagger that he's bringing to this defensive group. I hope they can feed off his energy and carry that into success throughout the season. Just to wrap up and kind of close this up, I want to hit on the big thing that I think is key for this defensive line position group. I think it's the depth. Pure and simple. You've got guys that have played, guys that have proven that they can hold their own in this league week in and week out at that competition level and have some success. So because of the fact that they were thrown into the fire early and had to see the field out of necessity. I think that has made this unit stronger, and we're going to reap that benefit this year on the field. Like I said, check back, click the bell for notifications, smash that like button, and stay tuned. We've got a couple more weeks of previews, and then it's down to game time. So until then, go Big Orange.